Here's my gameplay and thoughts on Bantam. He is one of the lieutenants in Division 2, Season 11, Reign of Fire. Last month we took out Chunks. Now we're working on this guy, and he is hiding in the Potomac Event Center. So we're going to work our way through and eventually melt this guy down. And I got some thoughts on what I played and what I thought. I still love playing the Division 2. I actually got my buddy Matt back into it, which is awesome. Unfortunately, it's not cross-play. So sorry, Matt. I know you're playing on PC. When you decide to come over to the master race of PlayStation 4, I will be waiting for you. And this looks even better on PlayStation 5 because we got that nice 60 FPS boost. I love the Division 2, and my favorite part and what has kept me coming back to this is the continuing story evolution of Natalya Sokolova and this whole evil empire as you work your way through the remnants of what happened in the world, well, at least in the US for now, after this horrible virus that was unleashed back in the Division 1, which took place in New York. Then we went to Washington, D.C. in Division 2. We went back to New York again to take out Aaron Keener. He unleashed a whole crap storm of just nonsense that we had to go clean up. And now we're back here in DC working on basically the villain of the month, which is fine for this, and all of these manhunts, which if you have seen my videos talking about this in the past couple months, I've had some very big frustration with them because for some reason they decided that all these manhunts need to be on the challenging difficulty. And these are just insanely difficult. Well, they were insanely difficult. I mean, yes, I do get knocked a few times here, but don't take my bad gameplay as any indication of what a wild swerve Ubisoft has done on us on this manhunt. But in the past, the manhunts have been brokenly, impossibly difficult to the point that you probably couldn't solo it on your own unless you're somebody who's been playing Division 2 since day one and you're shade level 800 billion thousand million and you've invested your entire life into this. Now, I have a respectable amount of hours into this game, and I still do play the manhunts when they come out. I've done the summit, I've done the raids, so I've gotten some experience with kind of what the end game of this is like, and I've kitted out Sarah Connor here the best I can to make her a lean, mean fighting machine. And I like my build, and I have fun with it, and I know how to play, and despite the fact that we keep going back to the same 10 or 15 places every single month, as we work our way through these bounties, the graphics, the level design, the cover system, everything just looks so beautiful and plays so well that I don't mind. The frustration has been up until this point that for some reason, these last couple challenges of taking out the different targets in this game have been insanely hard. And I've constantly complained about it, but they fixed it. And this plays just like a normal level. Now, there are a few instances where the enemies are just really tough, and you'll know exactly when that happens because I'm going to get deleted. But there's a few instances where some of the enemies are hard, but it's like we have this yo-yo difficulty. It went from it's going to be a 2-hour mission, and you're going to be shooting probably hundreds and thousands of rounds into targets to slowly burn them down. Vice, what this game kind of turned into. This match is like, well, kind of run and gun. If you get a little sloppy, that's okay. Now, I constantly am recruiting help. I like to have a 4-man going in, even if it's a pickup group, which this is. And at some point in the background, I don't know when, because I was listening to music while this raid was going on, but one of the guys has an open microphone. And you could hear him texting and talking and like coughing. And I apologize for that. You're going to hear my voice much more than the gameplay. But if you hear this faint music in the background or this faint talking or whatever, it's not me. So I apologize for that. I don't exactly know when it starts. I'm looking. He's probably the last guy that joins because I don't see any microphone comms in the upper right corner yet. But I do like to have a full squad going into this. It makes it a lot more fun. The enemy AI gets a little more spread out instead of everybody focus firing on you. Gives you a little bit more of that run and gun flavor, and it's great to have everybody using all of their favorite skills together to destroy enemies, whether it's the healing turrets or the flamethrowers or the different types of like sonic blasts, or you see some grenades and stuff in here. It's all fun. and I love all of it, and it makes this game so much more rewarding to play, which is why I'm still so heartbroken I can't play with my buddy Matt. But I'm sorry. Maybe in Division 3, we'll all get it on computer or console, and we'll jam out again, okay? But for now, I'm just playing with some pickup group, and I'm having fun with it. But yeah, it's weird because the difficulty just suddenly got so easy. And I haven't really touched it. I went up a couple levels since I took out chunks last month and put that video together for you guys. But in this one, it's just basically run and gun. And as a matter of fact, while I was kind of playing through it, I was like, am I in the wrong place? Like, last time the enemies were very, very difficult. It was like the Black Tusk extreme high-level characters. You had a lot of robot dogs. You had a lot of like the sentry guns. You had very heavily armored enemies. You had almost everybody seemed to have some sort of grenade launcher or some sort of heavy explosive that forces you out of cover. That never happens here. The times I get knocked is me being an idiot or enemies spawning just out of a place that was previously cleared. And I do remember on this particular mission that at a certain point when you get to the end, there is a sentry gun set up. Nobody uses it, but there is like a turret for you to use because enemies do spawn behind you, which I really appreciated in this level, and I totally forgot about that. You kind of think you're clear, you're moving, I'm watching my radar, and I'm like, okay, we're kind of pushing our way into the enemy, and then boom, out of nowhere, you know, on our rear end, all of a sudden it's red, and guys are just pouring out. And it's like, whoa, what the hell's going on? I like that, and I always hope that as they do these raids, well, I guess they're not really raids technically, it's just these manhunt missions. I always hope that maybe they'll add some new fun elements, and they'll say, hey, wouldn't it be really cool if, and then they change the way the enemies spawn, or they gave them different abilities or whatever, and you don't really see that. You see a little dabbling of the glue gun here. You see a couple heavy armored guys. I don't remember there being any sledgehammer enemies in this map. There were definitely no dogs. This did not seem like the Black Tusk Extreme takeover with the latest and greatest AI that you saw. It's just kind of your standard soldier who's running around with a gun. It doesn't stop me from getting knocked. But my point is, boy, that guy gets melted. Oh my God. That's so much fun when you have people just swarming AI like that. But, you know, it just is like, okay, I guess this is an instance where I shouldn't be too upset. It's be careful what you wish for because it just might come true. And here we are. You know, I put in, you know, some complaints, not that I'm the only one, of like, hey, you guys really borked the difficulty. Why can't I adjust it to give me a better chance at rewards or experience or drops or whatever? Nope, it was just you're going to play on challenging and you're going to like it. So I feel like this particular mission is challenging, but in name only. There is not a lot of super hard elites. I didn't feel like I got any ridiculous drops. There's that sentry gun that you're supposed to use that we all kind of just blew past. But yeah, and it's going to culminate right here into this big shootout. The guy's going to come out, and it's pretty seamless after this. You know, just it's kind of basic. And I mean, I guess you could say, hey, look at the guys on your team. You know, I'm definitely the weakling as it's been for a while. I'm a paltry shade level 83. You got a guy in here who's 3,200. You got a guy who's 180. You got a guy that's 500. These are some these guys have invested a significant amount of time into this game. And, you know, I understand the more you play, you're getting those constant passes that's allowing your bullets to do just a smidge more damage. Or give you a little more health or a little more weapon, you know, ammo in the clip. I get all that. And it's definitely easy now with the summit and the raids to kind of refine and build the character you want. Especially with the proficiency system. We've gotten to the point in this game where we're like deep end game. I think we've gone a lot farther actually than they had planned to do on Division 2. I'm guessing because Heartland didn't really pan out the way they wanted it to. And that kind of went back to the drawing board because a lot of us beta tested it and it sucked. But, you know, it's been a while since we've gotten a proper Division release. I'm glad they don't do an annual release. I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to do what they were trying to do with Assassin's Creed where they're just pooping these games out constantly. I'm fine with taking a couple years to culminate, but I feel like this game is to that point. Like, when this game came out, PlayStation 5, Xbox isn't really a thing yet. Now, they've kind of like shoehorned in that technology here. Me being an idiot getting knocked because I'm too aggressive. They've kind of shoehorned in that technology here, and it's like, okay, we know what next generation can look like and be, and some of the new refinements we've seen in what a real-time, you know, evolving living world game could be. Like, let's get into that. And they haven't done that. They just continue to add on basically more of the same. We're like in this autopilot mode. Like, okay, each season we're going to have 4 new villains. You're going to kill the villains, and then the 5th villain's going to be revealed. You're going to kill him. We're going to give you some story, which I love. But then that's it. You know, everything else is kind of the same. We'll throw in a little bit of leaderboard, you know, the little Chunks League or the Bantam League, where you can go back and grind a little bit and fight. But not really a lot of major changes have happened in a while. No crazy new weapons have appeared, or gun types, or character types, or any of that. You're just kind of stuck with where you are. And I feel like this is really that kind of tipping point, for me at least. That's not to say I won't play and continue on with the raids and with the story stuff, because I will. But we're kind of to that point now where it's like, okay, we've seen this, you know, for 11 seasons we've seen this. We've seen these maps. We've been here. I cannot tell you the number of times I've cleared out the Potomac Event Center. I cannot tell you the number of times I've gone to the memorials or the hostage rescues or whatever. And it's like, okay, I get it. You're somewhat handcuffed with the existing systems you have. It seems to me they're on a skeleton crew of development, and that's very noticeable, particularly on the PC side of things. I know there's been a lot of issues with PC stability, and the development team's like, hey, yeah, we know there's a problem. We just don't really have a lot of people to kind of help out. We're kind of limited. So I feel like, that's my phone, sorry. I feel like we're getting to the point where, you know, this game could be more than we want it to be. I just don't think that they're ready to do that right now. And I mean, look, really, that's fine. I mean, this game, like I said, it's showing its age, but it's still fun, and I'm still coming back to it. And the fact that this is free content, you're not paying for anything unless you want to get into the battle pass that gives you all the cosmetics and stuff. The story continues on. You can do all the content. You don't have to keep buying microtransactions for like the year 1 pass or the year 2 pass. So I got to give them credit for that they have at least kind of, you know, kept this game around while they're figuring out their next moves. I feel like we're getting to this point where if we don't see something significant this year in Ubisoft Forward, you know, whether it's a proper Ghost Recon game that comes out that doesn't suck, although I think we're many, many years away from that right now, or not something new with the Division. Not another hero shooter, not another, you know, cash grab at some crazy nonsense, but like a proper sequel to a game that's established in this really cool Tom Clancy's tactical universe, right? I'll be fine with that. And I'm hopeful we get that. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll find out as time goes on. But wrapping up this particular mission, it was kind of lackluster, and I was a little disappointed. You know, at the end, you're going to go through the traditional thing where Wally's going to bring you back, and you're going to be able to listen to the computer recordings, and they're going to tease at some new crazy weapon that they're going to be working on, or some new dastardly plan that you just single-handedly destroy, because, you know, it's a Mary Jane story, right? You're going to always win. You're the best. The Division's always going to win. You know, that's fine. We've been doing that for a while. You know, it's kind of weird that we haven't seen much from Lewis this particular season. They've introduced a new NPC that's just kind of not really motivating. So I could see a lot of people skipping over this season or just not getting invested in it. You know, just the little bit I've seen on the subreddit and the little bit that I've seen and who I've kind of talked to who's still actively playing this game, I think there's just a general kind of like really dialed in feeling to this particular season. And that's not to say maybe at the end we get some really cool boss fight and Stovepipe ends up being a total badass and we love him, but I'm just not really feeling it right now. And I think a lot of people aren't either. We're just going through the motions because we just don't want to miss out on content. Want to make sure we're staying up with what's going on in the story and kind of playing through things. So we'll see how that pans out. But as Bantam comes out, you know, he's supposed to be the gadget guy and he's supposed to be in charge of all these drones. So I was expecting like a really cool drone fight, maybe a ship flying overhead, or some sort of like, you know, him using lots of shade tech like Keener did, you know, in Warlords of New York. A really epic boss fight there. And maybe we were going to get some really cool change in what was happening. But nope, he just walks out the same as any other yellow soldier. And he's a bullet sponge, and he gets melted just about as fast as everyone else. I would actually argue that because we were all focus firing him because we didn't want to wipe, I would actually argue he deletes a lot faster than a lot of the other characters that I've fought up to this point. But wrapping this up. You get the story, and then that's kind of it. So we'll see what happens again next month. I know we're going to be getting the next target to take out, so it'll be a whole new slew of missions, and you know, we'll kind of limp our way through the story, and maybe we'll get some really cool turning point or some really cool sequence or cutscene or something that reinvigorates the fan base, and we all lose our minds. But this ain't it, and that's unfortunate. So long, Lieutenant Bantam. I will not be fighting you again. You're gonna get deleted, and we're gonna get our mediocre loot. And we'll be back again next month, and maybe we'll have a little bit more excitement to talk about. Maybe by then we'll have a little bit more details on Ubisoft Forward, or maybe we'll know kind of what they're teasing. Maybe there'll be some leaks where we can get excited about some new guns or gameplay mechanics or things to sink our teeth into. But this game showed its age, and that's sad. And we're going to blame Lieutenant Bantam because, you know, he just wasn't fun, and now he's gone. So see you later, buddy. We're moving on to Curse next month, and can't wait. See if it's good. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your comments in the Division 2 below. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.